Alright, so these are just some overall notes on the design process for the prototype. So originally when I was designing this, I wanted to create a hole that was very similar in shape to the granola bars when they were fully laid out. Like if you were to extend these furrows, they would kind of have these triangular fringes on the side that extend outward. However, I didn't want to take the entire length into account. See, it kind of protrudes because this part flaps downward when it's in the chute. So I just arbitrarily chose 5 inches. That seemed like a good distance for me. And when I put it inside of the chute initially, it seemed to work fine. However, when I actually went to make the sliding piece for that part, I discovered that it wasn't working correctly. Like it would still get stuck on these little fringes, so I decided to give it more clearance and made just a rectangular hole. And so the final piece for that is kind of something like this, where it's the rectangular hole. It's got these raised edges on the side, um, and I think this is a consequence of using cardboard for the construction since it's not super precise. Um, I had this issue where the cardboard would get stuck on one side but not the other, and I think it's due to the unevenness of the material. And so, to do away with that issue, I just raised the edges so it would not interfere. And this part is the one that goes inside of the main section that I have over here. So if you give me a moment, just gonna put some counterweights. So those are my counterweights holding it together. There's a little stopper there for the piece that I showed earlier. And then this is the main construction. This is where I would put the granola bars. There's a platform for it to sit on that's kind of floating. It's not really being held in place by here. These are just front stoppers. And then 2 walls on the side. So what I would do is put the part in here initially. And now it can kind of slide manually, of course. This is the part that would be moved by the solenoid. So the main issues that I'm encountering still right now is that I still have 2 exiting the platform at a time, which is not ideal. In my requirements, I only wanted 1 to be going out at a time. Another issue that I have is that the granola bar will still exit out of this hole, so I suspect that my opening in the default position is still too big. It's still about as wide as an actual granola bar. So I think in the real design, I'll have to have the entire window closed here, and then it'll just slide all the way to accommodate for that. So anyway, when I put the granola bars in, not only does it sometimes still get stuck, or not only do 2 sometimes go out at a time, but it also gets stuck as well. So right now, I had no problems there. 2, that was 3, that was 4. See, I counted 4 of those corresponding falls, but 5 actually fell down. So that tells me that I'm still having the 2 at a time issue. So this prototype is semi-successful, but I still think it could have a lot to be improved. I'm not 100% satisfied with how this mechanism performs. It's pretty hit or miss. I think it could be improved if it took only one at a time instead of trying to hold the weight of all of them, because that's a big variable in how it performs as well.